Hi everybody, welcome to Peak Wildlife Park and welcome to our penguin enclosure. Now here at the park we are home to a colony of Humboldt penguins. Now these penguins get their name from the Humboldt Current in which they hunt on the coast of South America, which is their wild environment. Now here at the park we have around 30 Humboldt penguins and we do have a good mixture. We've got some adults here and we've got some juveniles, and we also do have some chicks. Now, the Humboldt penguin can be identified by those lovely black and white markings it's got down its face. So you can see our adult penguins have this striking black and white marking all down their body, whereas the juveniles are a dark grey colour with a lovely white belly, and our chicks are quite a light grey fluffy colour. Now, we identify our penguins by the spots on their belly. You see Ibis has just turned around there, giving you a good example of the spots on his stomach there. And those spots are unique to each penguin, just like our own fingerprints. So that's how we identify the penguins here at the park. And you can see Terry here has two red armbands on, and that's because when the chicks are born, they actually don't have any markings on their stomach at all, so it's quite hard to tell them apart. But we do know Terry now because she's got quite a unique little spot marking on the bottom of her belly, which you'll see as she turns around. Now, penguins are monogamous, which means they will pair for life. Now, one of our long-standing couples here at the park are Orion and Belle, and they do live in our green and blue nest box on the beach. Now, they are excellent parents, and they are parents to Gary, who is one of our cheekiest penguins. If you've been to the park before, I'm sure you've heard of Gary, and if I do see him, I'll point him out for you. So Gary is usually getting up to no good. Now, when the penguins lay an egg, they will incubate it for around 40 days, which means they're going to stay in that nest for 40 days. So mum and dad do take it in turns. Now, after around 40 days, a little penguin chick will hatch, and that penguin chick will actually fit on the palm of my hand. So you can see it's quite a big difference to the adult penguin chicks we've got here. Now, that chick will be fully dependent on its mum and dad until it reaches a couple months old and it grows its waterproof feathers. So you can see, just like Terry there, Terry's a chick from last year. So she's got her waterproof feathers and she is fully independent now. She doesn't need her mum and dad at all. She can actually haul fish. Now she will get her adult feathers when she goes through her molt in the summer months. Now out there in the wild, penguins do enjoy quite a varied diet. They'll eat lots of different types of fish and also different types of squid. But here at the park, our penguins absolutely love sprats. So it's just this little fish here. Now, our penguins can eat up to 20 kilograms of fish a day, which is quite a lot. That's around 4 full buckets of fish a day. Now, these penguins are incredibly agile when they're in the water. They can reach speeds up to 20 miles per hour, which is pretty fast. And they are incredibly agile, which means they can take sharp turns when hunting little fish like this, which will be able to swim pretty fast. Now, you can see on land, the penguins are a little bit clumsy. Now, I mean, they can get around quite well. But they quite often stumble over things, but they are quite good at jumping. You might see Gary likes to sit on top of the nest boxes and have a little bit of a jump around on the rocks there. Now, penguins are quite inquisitive animals, so you can see you've got them all around the bucket here. They're not shy at all. Now, the penguins are quite playful as well. You might see them chasing flies or butterflies across the beach, or even chasing shadows. Mars, one of our penguins, absolutely loves to chase shadows. Now, as well as that, our penguins do love to sunbathe. Now, they do spend around 80% of their time in the water, but on a lovely hot sunny day, it's not unusual to see our penguins lying on the beach for a few hours. They'll just lie there with their eyes shut, having a nice long rest, and they usually do know the good spots for the sun here, so they like to sit across the back of the pool, or sometimes even right on the beach there next to the path. So you keep an eye out, you might get a really good look at our penguins. Wiggle, one of our penguins, does love to sit just at the bottom of the penguin ramp there. She has been known to sit there almost all day on a really nice sunny day. Now, unfortunately, the Humboldt penguin is classified as vulnerable on the IUCN Red List. Now, that is down to overhunting of fish. These guys rely on the fish out there in the wild, but people do tend to overhunt and take all those stocks that these penguins do rely on. Now, as well as that, these penguins can also be targeted by hunting and also by climate change. Now, El Nino is a current which actually affects the penguin's natural Humboldt current. So the Humboldt current is normally cold, nutrient-rich, and brings in lots and lots of fish for these penguins to feast on. However, due to El Nino, those colder currents are pushed away by warm currents, which means there's not as many fish for these penguins to eat. So climate change does have a big impact on these penguins. Now, as that we've coupled with their natural predators and things like that, that has actually led to quite a large decline of the Humboldt penguin. Now here at the park we are extremely passionate about conservation and supporting species out there in the wild. So we work with a charity called Spinisco. Now these guys work out in Chile and Peru, and they actually work out with wild penguins, so they'll rehabilitate them, look after them, and also educate local people out there on how they can support this wonderful penguin which they're lucky enough to have in their natural environment. Now you can help us support them here at the park. You can actually adopt one of our penguins. So if you want to go down to our gift shop, you can adopt Gary, Wiggle, Joey, Paul. If there's any penguin you really, really love, or even one of our new penguin chicks from this year, Reggie and Rudyard. So that money will help go towards our conservation trust and also these wonderful penguins out there in the wild.